This is one of the shape, sinusoid. Continuously sine wave is coming. So we cannot draw the same in paper. So we'll draw any one position. Any one static position we'll draw. Maybe of this way or this way we'll draw. But actually it is a continuous signal. If it is one sine wave, of course it is a little easier for us to draw. But what if we have more sine waves? As you see here, we have here 3 sine waves we should draw. So it is of course a little difficult for us to draw in a paper. So we should have an alternative way to represent the same. So I will call this sine wave is exactly represented by this single line, and of course which is rotating. So the single line was a vector. If I rotate the vector, I will call it as a phasor. So phasor is nothing but a rotating vector. So you might be wondering how this rotating vector is same as the sine wave what you have seen. I'll clarify it. I have taken this vector. I would like to plot this y-axis magnitude of this vector right now at each and every position. I would like to plot here. So it is rotating. So I am taking one instant, and at this instant, at this position, what is the y-axis magnitude of this line? It is of course 0. So let me project that here. So we projected this y-axis magnitude of this vector right now here. So at this position, angle is 0, theta is 0. There is no rotation. So once if I move this, after some angle theta 1, what is the y-axis magnitude? This is the y-axis magnitude. Now let me represent this y-axis magnitude again onto this linear axis. So at theta 1, the magnitude is, this magnitude is, if this is of x length, so here the magnitude is x into sine theta 1. This magnitude is, so let me write there, x into sine theta 1. If you rotate further, let's take another instant, theta 2. So here magnitude is, let me give it there, at theta 2, this magnitude is x sine theta 2. Let me take another instant, 90 degrees. So we'll see the magnitude, that is x, or x sine 90 degrees, that is equal to x, which is 90 degrees here. So if I join all these points, as you see, it is changing in sine fashion. So you will get a sine shape. So if I rotate this even further, and if I keep plotting the y-axis magnitude, you get a sinusoid. So what you understood is, instead of drawing a sine wave, I will just draw a vector. And I will say, this vector is rotating at some speed omega. So this vector with this speed representation is called phasor. That's what I defined. Phasor is a rotating vector. So which means this single line represents this entire shape. Now you may have a doubt. In this line, where we are representing the time period. This is a time period of, in case of any AC signal or sinusoid, time period or frequency is present inside the shape. But here, we don't have that frequency. It seems like that, but we have a frequency. Omega means what? 2 pi f. So frequency term also is included here. Or in other way, if I say, if it is taking less time to rotate one cycle, one revolution, then of course I will get one cycle in less time. If it is taking more time to rotate, or if it is taking more time to finish one revolution, here this cycle it will take little more time, hence more time period, hence less frequency. So frequency term also included, magnitude term also included, everything is included. So I can simply say, instead of drawing entire sine wave, we'll draw a single vector or a single phasor. It will be more clear if you see the next one. This is what we have seen, our regular sinusoid in the first slide. This is what we have seen. Here, now let's consider vector also, which is rotating. See, at each and every instant we are plotting y-axis magnitude onto this. So you get a sinusoid. So this is what the concept of phasor. Now further, if I consider two signals, how do I draw them? Let's consider the next one. If I have two signals, one I'll represent here, another I'll represent here. Because I have two signals are 90 degrees apart. You can see the respective sine waves, the respective sinusoids. What's the guess? See here, at this instant, black is having 0. At this instant, same instant, red is having maximum value. So as these two rotate, we'll keep plotting their y-axis magnitudes here. Then we'll see further. At this instant, again it is 0 and red is maximum. Further rotation. So instead of drawing these two, it will be better for us to draw this. It is very easy. So this is what the concept of phasor. Phasor concept itself is to make our things easier. But what we feel is, phasor means we'll feel like a ghost. It's, biggest mess, all these things. But it is making things much, much easier. Okay. Let's go further. Let's now see the concept of leading and lagging. If you understand these concepts, leading and lagging will be very easy to understand. Because as electrical engineer, we always come across this concept, leading and lagging. Leading and lagging we see where between voltage and current. Sometimes we'll say current is leading, sometimes we'll say current is lagging. So on basis of what we'll say leading and lagging. Let's consider two vectors, two phasors. And of course they're rotating at some speed. So if I treat voltage as black one and current as red one, red phasor is current and black phasor is voltage. And this is our reference line. So for this rotation, who comes first to this reference line? Of course, black one is coming first, then red one is coming. So if I take black one here, of course, red one is coming behind the black one. So if I take reference as black one, we'll say red one is behind. That is, red one is lagging. So with reference to voltage, reference to voltage, current is lagging by some angle phi, by some angle phi. But if I consider a red one as a reference, if I consider reference as red, that is current as reference, voltage is leading, voltage आगे जा रहा है, so voltage is leading, voltage is leading by same phi. So same phasors, but statement gets changed with respect to the reference vector. Of course, our great scientists, they made things very simpler to avoid this kind of confusion. They always take reference as voltage. In very rare case, or maybe no case, of course they take current as reference in very rare cases, but mostly they take reference as voltage. So now don't get confused, always take reference as voltage. So with respect to voltage, current is lagging. Why it is lagging? Because in this rotation, in which direction it is rotating? In counterclockwise direction. So for this phase displacement, voltage comes to the reference first, then current is coming, so we'll call current is lagging by angle phi. Let's take another case. This case, now let's rotate these two also. Now as these two are rotating, who comes to first this reference line? Red one is coming, then black one is coming. So red one is here, black one is coming behind the red one. So who is leading with respect to the voltage? With respect to black, current is leading. Current आगे जा रहा है, so current is leading. So we'll call here for this reference to again same voltage we always take. From now voltage reference. Reference to voltage, current is leading by an angle phi. Let's take another case. Now you just imagine these two are rotating and tell me who is lagging and who is leading. Yes, now first voltage, then current. First voltage, then current. So current is behind. Current is lagging. By how much angle? By 90 degrees. Current lags by 90 degrees. And of course I said you should always take counterclockwise direction, not clockwise direction. If you're taking clockwise direction, everything goes wrong. And I don't have to say reference because I said by default always we take reference as voltage. So let's take another. So here, tell me now here. Yes, current is leading. Let's see. First current comes to the reference, then voltage. First current is coming, then voltage is coming. So first current is coming, so current is leading. आगे जो जा रहा है वही lead कर रहे हैं. Leading. Simple. So this is the second part. First we have seen from where and how and why we got the phasor concept. And next we have seen leading and lagging. Here the point to be noted is we always take reference as voltage and the direction of rotation of phasor is counterclockwise direction. Let's see the next part. Let's see what if we have to draw a three-phase. So let's see the three-phase. This is a three-phase waveform. Now can I represent the same three-phase waveform also in phasor? Of course. Why not? Not only this, anything we can represent in terms of phasors. in a easiest manner. Let's see. We have taken three phases. Now let's rotate them and keep plotting the y-axis of all these three phases. We get a three-phase waveform. So another example is, we have these three signals. How can I represent these three signals? See here. These three, they will rotate. As they're rotating, you'll get exactly the same shape. So it is difficult to draw this, but it is very easy to draw this. So that's what I said. Phasor concept is making our things very easier. Otherwise, if this is not there, we'd have got big trouble of drawing these kind of signals. Let's go to the next. So before we go to that phasor diagram, this concept will help you to understand the phasor diagram, that is vector addition. Of course, most of you might be knowing this vector addition, but let me just give you a brief of vector addition. So here a vector is given and they're asking to find x vector, and expression for x is a plus ja. Here the point is, what is this j? J is an operator which represents 90 degrees counterclockwise direction. It's just an operator which represents 90 degrees counterclockwise direction. How you got this? You got it from mathematics. Simple mathematics. If you take a complex plane and we have a real numbers and you have imaginary numbers, 2j minus j minus 2j minus 1 minus 2, like this. This is a complex plane. Here if you see, j means what? This is j. So how much angle it has taken? 90 degrees angle it has taken. In which direction? Counterclockwise direction. That's what I represented here. So j means, to be specific, plus j means 90 degrees counterclockwise. Minus j means, yes, minus j is here. This is the reference I said. So minus j, 90 degrees again, but clockwise. So this is very, very important. I hope there is no doubt here. So with this, let's look at the addition. So we need to find x. We have a vector. So what we need to do is, let's take this. So I'm taking this a and second term. In this second term, we have a. Let's take a once again. And we need to multiply with j. Multiplying with j means what? Just now I said it is a plus j, means 90 degrees counterclockwise direction. So let's rotate this 90 degrees counterclockwise. So this is completely, we got ja. Now we need to add this and this. We need to add this and this. Addition means, addition of two vectors means what? Adding this head to the tail. Join the head and tail. So the resultant is x. This is x. I hope vector addition is clear. We'll see a few more examples to make it more clear, because these play key role in understanding the phasor diagram. You may feel, sir, ये सब कुछ हमको पता है, but अगर पता है, why you're afraid of phasor diagram? Because you don't know completely. So I'm trying to give you complete details of phasor diagram, complete history, from where you got all these things. So we're trying to see all those things. Okay, next. Yeah, next. Now the expression has changed to a minus ja. So I don't like to go for subtraction of the vectors. I always prefer to go for addition of the vectors, which makes it easier. It's not that you have to follow this, but I prefer it. You may follow subtraction also, but I prefer addition. So I would like to change this expression into the addition expression. That is a plus minus j into a. Both are mathematically equal. So I would like to draw this. So first I'll take this a. Let's take a. Now second term, in the second term we have a. So let me take a once again. And we should give minus j. We should multiply with minus j. Minus j means what? 90 degrees clockwise direction. So let's rotate this 90 degrees clockwise direction. So that's it. We have first term and second term. We need to add these two. Addition means what? Head and tail joining. So let's join this tail to head. So the resultant is, this is the resultant, x. Let's see another one. X is equal to 2a plus j2a. A is given here. Of course, if a is not given here, we cannot find. So a is given here. So first term, 2a. So a को थोड़ा बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. So let's take little longer a. So this is 2a. First term is over. Now here in the second term, let's take 2a, again little longer, and we multiply with j, means counterclockwise 90 degrees. Counterclockwise 90 degrees. Let's add them. And this is the resultant, x. So this is addition. Next one. They have given now two phasors or two vectors. And he is asking for x. Simply take a, first one, and next take b, second one. We have taken these two. We need to add these two. Addition means what? Tail to head. So let's join this tail to head. And the resultant is x. Next, a minus b. We have a is given, b is given. So he's asking for a minus b. As I said, I don't like to go for subtraction. I like to go for addition only. So I'm rephrasing the statement as a plus minus b. There is no mathematical difference. So first we'll take a. So let's take a. Then let's take, in the second part, first I'm taking b. So let's take b. Now we should multiply with minus. Minus means what? 180 degrees opposite. Because in here, we have seen plus 1, minus 1. Plus 1, minus 1 is having 180 degrees phase shift. So here also it has to take rotation of 180 degrees. You don't have to take clockwise or counterclockwise, because 180 degrees, whether you rotate in clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction, it gives the same. So minus b is this. So second vector is ready, first vector is this. So let's add these two. Join head and tail. So this is a resultant, x. Next one. X is equal to a plus b plus ja. We have a given, b given. So let's take a, which is the first one. Let's take b, second one. So let's add these two, head and tail joining. Next we have a third term also. That is, first we have a term. So let me take a first. Then let me multiply with j. J means counterclockwise 90 degrees. So let's rotate this counterclockwise 90 degrees. And add it. Addition means tail and head. So let's put it there. And the resultant is x. I hope you're getting the points. So finally, Let's look at this. This is the final one. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. First, V1. Let's take V1. Next we have second term, I1 R1. So here what we'll take is, let's consider R1 is equal to 1 ohm, R2 also is equal to 1, X1 is also equal to 1 ohm. For simplicity I am taking this. You may take any value. We'll see in the next case what if we take other than 1. So for the second term, let's take I1 first. This is I1, so I'm taking I1. And we'll multiply with R1. R1 is equal to just 1 ohm, so there is no change in magnitude, same value will be there. If R1 is suppose 2 ohm, then this will be of little longer. If R1 is having 0.5 ohm, then this will be little shorter. As it is equal to 1, now it will be just same length. So this is R1 also included here. It's just a multiplication, length will change, that's it. So let's add. Next, in this term, let's take I1 once again, and let's multiply with X1. X1 is equal to 1, so there is no change. If X1 is equal to 2, it will be little longer in the same direction. If X1 is equal to 0.5, it will be shorter, respectively. That's it. And we have here J also. Let's multiply with J. J means 90 degrees counterclockwise. So let's rotate this 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now addition. Add it. Addition means join head and tail. Tail to head. Next we have this term. So here I2. So let's take I2 now. Then multiply with R2. So as it is 1, there is no change in magnitude. Now add it. Addition means join tail to the head. And this is a resultant. So this is what the phasor diagram. I think now you can correlate your machine's phasor diagram with this phasor diagram, with this expression. So phasor diagram is nothing but a simple vector addition. For you to get more confidence, let's see another one. You solve this. Here you take R1, R2, X1, X2 as your wish. You can take any value and try to plot the phasor diagram for this. V1 vector is given, I1 vector is given, I2 vector is given. I am asking you to take any values of R1, R2, X1, X2. So correspondingly, you draw the phasor diagram. I'll help you. We keep drawing. First term, V1. Let's take V1. Second term, I1 multiplied with R1. Then next, this term, here I1, let's take I1 and multiply with X1 and rotate, add it. This term, I2, let's take I2, multiply with R2 and add it. Next, finally, this term, here I2, let's take I2 once again, multiply with X2 and multiply with J, and now add it. So resultant is, this is the resultant E1. This is how you draw phasor diagram for any expression. You see here, if you want the phasor diagram, you must have the expression. Or if you have the expression, or sorry, if you have the phasor diagram, you can write the expression. So these two are correlated.